Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The moment you've been waiting for has finally arrived. The round robin series are about to come to a close for the final day of the broadcast tomorrow over on twitch.tv/LCS. But right now, we're on twitch.tv/Academy. As always, my name is Mark Rafa Alexander Arambide. Joining me on the cast for the final series of this round robin play going to be Dimitri Alt Battery Toledo, which I want everyone to give a quick salute because he is streaming from Switzerland right now. So, how's the EU ping, my friend?
Dude, the EU ping's actually really nuts. No wonder these players are. No wonder everyone's saying that the ERLs are smurfing. The ping's just nuts. I've got everything open, and I've had no trolls in solo queue, so it's looking pretty good. Loving it over here.
Damn, you should have just taken me with you, man. You could have hit me up.
I can't take all the NA talent, sadly. We gotta leave some over there, you know.
I guess so. EU already has too many NA imports in the casting team, but we are getting ready for this epic series: Team Infernal versus Team Ocean. We have seen these two titans clashing back and forth over the course of the week, and in their first series that they played against, Ocean managed to take one game off of Team Infernal, and even in the two games that they lost, they were still very, very, very close. But overall, Team Infernal, they were the ones that came out victorious, Dimitri.
Yeah, these are our two frontrunners. These were coming into the tournament anyway, right? You saw this Ocean squad, you saw this Infernal. Everyone was just hyping them up. Maybe kind of akin to Niles coming on the Cloud, but I've been watching all these games, and it's been really fun to watch, specifically Tony Top, because we were watching him throughout the scouting ground circuit, and he was not particularly the best top laner coming out of the circuit. We had Niles, and we had a bunch of obviously Tenacity before he moved on.
Rodov as well.
But exactly, and it's been actually just a pleasure to watch him, not only just mechanics-wise in the lane, but also his champ pool has really opened up far and wide away from just Jackson. Kind of these carry top laners. I've been loving his kind of style when playing Ornn, and I'm looking forward to see what we get from this match, because more than likely we might see a little bit of a repeat from what we saw last night. But these are our two front runners, and more than likely going to be the people kind of contesting for that first, second spot in the draft.
And it's something that we have to mention here about Tony Top in particular. Coming into this final series, he is the one boasting the most signature and unique picks across the board. This man has played Vladimir, Camille, Ornn, Lulu, Jax, Urgot just earlier today. What can this man not play? And, going off of what you were talking about, what we saw from him during the summer season, back when he was on Team Mirage, the Mirage had such great promise. They had such a great talented roster, but every time it came to games, for some reason, team play and the execution was just not always clicking. And so we were on the fence about Tony Top, but now finally on this Team Infernal roster, things are finally falling into place. And we get to see why Tony Top is so consistently highly ranked on the solo queue ladder. He is truly one of the best top laners coming into this tournament.
Yeah, and one of the kind of key notes for success, at least in this scouting grounds, has just been flexibility, right? A lot of the teams that have been able to kind of show off their champion pools, show up a little bit of a diversity. That's when we've seen, Ocean kind of rise up, specifically with having players like Rodov and Yunbi just kind of at the helm, ready to do whatever the team is necessary or kind of needed for the team. And same thing with Infernal. I'm still shocked from that first game when we saw Malphite in the last pick, and it just kind of
the Malphite
ruined
as well.
Exactly, just ruined the game entirely. It was just a beautiful thing to watch. So especially with Tony Top and Copy, who's been just performing out of his mind. Copy had a really great game on the Zoe, obviously known as a little bit of a Zoe player, but I've been really impressed by seeing this, and I'm looking forward to see yet again how Yunbi and Copy kind of match up, because Rodov and Tony Top, these are guys you can see that carry style come out from the both of them, but Yunbi and Copy are kind of front running for most impressive players on both of their teams.
I do believe I have been Lissandra ulted on screen, but don't worry.
No.
We will get back. Sometimes I think what is the real occurrence here, Alk Battery, is that we're talking a little too much about Team Infernal. We're giving them a little too much praise, but that's okay, because sometimes we got to give credit where credit is due. But when we look on the flip side for Team Ocean, when we're talking about the person that has to step it up and carry their team to victory, it is NXI in that jungle role.
Yeah, NXI has been kind of the talk of the town, basically, for amateur. Ever since, we saw Kenvi and Tenacity leave for Academy and 100 Thieves, NXI has been kind of the front runner for who we are looking for in North American talent, especially from the jungle position. North America always being kind of touted as bringing forth really great junglers, and NXI has been nothing short but impressive the entire time. So NXI versus Tomio, I think Tomio's had a really great kind of rise throughout the series, specifically through the first couple games where a lot of people had
Mhm.
questions. Was this Rengar solo queue player really going to try and make an impact? And I think this team has been playing pretty well around him. And even in the games where maybe we don't see that same level of resource commitment towards him, he's been kind of putting up the numbers to show that, hey, I'm worthy of being here. I'm worthy of my spot. And we saw Copy, you were part of that interview, Copy saying some of the best roles in each position here on this team. And Tomio definitely, I think, challenging NXI for that.
We're gonna have to see how well that jungle matchup pairs up for Tomio, as you already mentioned it before, Dimitri. This team, Infernal, as Copy has already proudly stated, they have the best players in every single role on this squad. And to say that even when he had former teammate NXI back on 100 Thieves next, it's a lot of praise coming in for Tomio. There's times that we questioned, okay, well, it's pretty easy to look that good when everyone on your team is good as a jungler.
Yeah.
But then you give all these resources in that one game where Tomio did take the Graves and Tony Top played the Lulu, and then he just started taking side lane farm, and he accelerated about 100 CS above his opponent.
I mean, it's nothing short of impressive. No, this is why coming in, I was looking at these junglers. I was looking at the entire pool of junglers. I was really looking forward to see how Roadstorm was going to perform. And obviously, we got to see a little bit of that earlier. But the jungle pool has been really competitive between the two of them. And speaking of the jungle matchup, we're already seeing Evelyn being taken away. We're seeing Graves as well being taken away from Ocean. It does mean that Lily is going to start to rise in priority, especially for the two of them. And I'm looking forward to see what Tomio brings out, because as soon as Lily is picked, I'm looking towards either Tomio or NXI, whatever side, to immediately snap grab that Nidalee, because both of them, specifically NXI, has such a dangerous Nidalee. I know you're a huge fan of this champion. There we go, first pick, and now the kind of ball's in Infernal's court. What are they going to do to answer this? Are they going to just try and lock in that bot lane? We still have Ashe available to us. Ezreal has been really popular for Shoryu, and we haven't really talked about the bot lane, but Shady has been the most impressive support by far.
Shady, man. I mean, I got to interview him earlier in the day, and he is not only an extremely confident player, but he is just also a huge playmaker. And I was thinking, without that Leona, what is his next pick going to be? It's going to be the Pantheon. And if we have looked at anything this week, Dimitri, even if Rebel Fox is talking about it being illegal, that Jhin early rotation pick comes in for Team Infernal.
Yeah, they want to just kind of prioritize their lanes here. I think they're also trying to at least not show what exactly they want to pick. I think it's fine for the most part. Obviously, there's a few other AD carries that I would like. There's a few other picks that you can choose here, but Pantheon and Jhin just going for a lot of really great damage, at least early on. Pantheon just being such an oppressive laner, can just do it all. He's kind of the do-it-all support. He takes a lot of damage. He can do great turret dives. He can do a lot of damage as well. And immediately, we saw the Yuumi hover there for a little bit there, so we still have some flexibility, especially with this set. I wonder what they're going to pick, because we've been seeing Jhin versus Ezreal a lot, and even the Jhin Ashe matchup has not been fantastic. So
hey, look at
I
that!
was wondering what Ocean we're going to go, but Jan, formerly known as Akinoki, this guy's Ezreal is absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, we know how damn good Jan is on that Ezreal. His first debut game with 100 Thieves was on the Ezreal. I'm very certain that it wasn't a pentakill, but it was a quadra, and he was just absolutely insane. But there it is. The Nidalee locked in for Tomio. We're going to have a battle in the jungle. And, just to kind of refresh everyone with this jungle matchup, Lilia can farm very fast and can accelerate herself once that Runic Echoes is completed. But the reason why you want to pick this Nidalee into the Lilia specifically is because you have that window in the early game where you can punish. And if you have the lane set up to be able to move and have the agency to support you in the invasions, you can really do some damage to NXI in the early game.
Yeah, you need to be able to pick champions that are going to have early lane priorities. So obviously that Pantheon doing wonders for them. So this is where I'm interested to see what Ocean are going to ban, because there's still Jax on the table. There's still Camille, and Camille and Jax have been kind of permabans versus Infernal specifically. Camille's been more of a staple ban all around, but they need to be able to just try to protect NXI as much as possible in this situation. Make sure that he's able to get to that item spike. I mean, Ezreal should be fine. He can kind of solo lane for the most part, allows Joe to kind of roam out of this lane. And with the Tarek ban, I wonder with what we're going to see from Ocean, if they're kind of afraid of maybe we see something that's a little bit more heavy engage, especially for Yunbi. We even have, I mean, we have Twisted Fate available, but there's so many options here for Yunbi. These guys have an insane pool. Zoe is still available. Now, obviously, AP mid with AP jungler, not the best. You're not going to have the most fun, but
Right.
I mean, Copy, he's had so much success on the Zoe throughout all of Scouting Ground Circuit, and if there was ever a time to try and pull out a win, game 1 in the best of 3 series in the final round of the round robin, might as well just go for it.
This is by far one of his most picked champions throughout the entire summer SGC season leading up to the Face It Finals back in August. And between Nidalee and Zoe, yes, they're both magic damage, so it might be relatively easy to stack MR, but then that plays into the effect that Pantheon and Jhin just do so much burst damage in that physical side of the composition. But
That's
Rodolph
evil.
hovering
That's
the Jax in the
Don't
face
do
of
it.
Tony Top, blind picking it? Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think that was going to happen. Rodolph going to stick with that comfort champion, the Ornn, so damn good with it, being able to pretty much survive laning phase, do well, and I mean, Rodolph has been such a powerful force when it comes to team fighting. Call of the Forge Gods are going to be immaculate here as Yunbi does lock in the Syndra. So we know that that set, there is no possibility anymore of that going towards the mid lane. It will be in the support role for Joey.
Yeah. You know, I think this is one of the few times where I really would have loved to have seen Rodolph on a carry. If you're going to take the Ornn versus Tony Top, who's an infamous carry player, and Jax is still available as his one trick, everybody on your team is going to have difficulties trying to deal with the Jax, and it is not going to be the best of time for you as we actually see Tony Top, both of the top laners. The problem, we were talking about this before we went on air, the battle of the ego top laners in the kind of pool for the rest of these guys in the entire Scouting Grounds. But I mean, now we're just seeing it. The legendary, very fun matchup. I'm sure everyone is going to have a lot of fun when we go to directed camera and you just see Sion presses W. Interesting. Presses Q. Ornn presses W. All right, let's go. Very fun gameplay.
It's the return of the wet noodle fights here, Dimitri. Back in Season 5, if you remember, if you're a true OG, you'll remember the days of Grass the Undying, Sunfire Cape, Iceborne, Gauntlet, true tank meta, and then somehow you just become not only damn near unkillable, but also you also are able to threaten the backline very consistently. And when it comes to Ornn and Sion, both of these guys, massive tanks, massive meat shields, and they can sport a lot of base damage that can threaten either of these backline. Assure you, it's probably going to not have the best time when it comes to the late game, as, you know, the Quarter Friend Smacks, you know, picking Jhin when Ornn is up on the table it's pretty dangerous.
It's so bad. You're not going to do any damage.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice about it, but yeah.
Cool,
but this composition from Team Infernal is all about saying, you know what, we're going to prioritize the priority coming in from mid lane and the bottom side of the map. We're going to invade and try and get Tomio ahead on this Nidalee. Top lane, I don't really see that much agency coming out from.
Just ignore it. If the camera ever goes towards top lane, get it out. So, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are swapping in game as we get ready to take the Rift.
So, yeah, we're just going to get right into the game here. No pauses. So, already doing better than most of the other Scouting Ground matches. No pauses yet. Doing good there. I'm trying not to jinx it. I'm so sorry. That was maybe even bad
Our producer blurted in our ear, just like
don't jinx it, buddy.
Don't jinx it. Hey. Let's be respectful to the internet gods that have blessed us with a very consistent stream. And let's talk about the game. Looking at Tomio, he has gone for the Conquer on the Nidalee, which is particularly one of my favorites because it allows you to basically take those longer extended skirmishes and get a little bit more attack speed for your buck, which does not only help your early clears, but also your early skirmishing power as well. Because, you know, even though you lose out a little bit on the AP that you would have gone for double adaptive force, but you just, I mean, auto attacks are just so OP, Dimitri. And you should know this as well, coming from being a bottom.
I mean, auto attacks on mages are really strong, surprisingly enough. So I you know, it's something that we see pretty often. I know we have a joke between the two of us and some of our group, the Jin with the boots 4-pot mind control. So we've been seeing this a little bit more standard, so it's less of a joke, but when we were seeing this kind of pop up at the beginning of Worlds, there we go, there's the very fun tank top laning. It just kind of negates all of Jin's bad laning phase as we see Joey takes a pretty massive trade, tries to use the Haymaker to at least subside some of the damage. It is just, I mean, look at this. Thrilling gameplay, presses Q.
Decimating smash onto the tanky top laner that won't die. Hell yeah.
I press my Doran's shields gives me all of the HP. Rodolph does have a little bit of a level lead here, so Tony Hawk has to kind of be a little bit wary, but we're seeing Shady constantly trying to take this trade. I think it's interesting that he's using a lot of these abilities on Joey since, I mean, Set is notorious for having a disgusting amount of HP regen, and so he's just going to get it all back eventually. As if we see a solo kill in this top lane, I think I think a lot of us would be colored surprised on this one.
That's one way to put it. I definitely would not be ready or prepared for a solo kill from 2 tank top laners. I would hope that that is not the case. But, you know, going back to this jungle matchup in between NXI and Tomio, because I think it's fair to say that, you know, Tony Top, this game, he's playing more the utility. He is playing for the team. Tomio has already cleared out the full side of his top jungle. It's already making his way towards the bottom side. NXI, having cleared out his bottom side jungle early on, means that there won't be any camps for Tomio to find, but maybe Tomio can look for a dive using the power of Pantheon.
Yeah, and we're even taking a look at this, like, the junglers are going to be kind of just 2 ships in the night, right? Just going on opposite sides of the jungle, they're not going to be able to interact, so Nidalee is not going to find that early interaction point that we were talking about earlier, of finding Lilia in her jungle, finding her unaware, kind of catching her, tail between her legs, trying to at least punish her a little bit, and that should spell a little bit of danger as both of the mid laners are coming in, the junglers are here, NXI.
Oh, Cleanse was already burned from Yoonbi, but Copy manages to get out without having to burn Flash. But Tomio should be able to keep his distance and get out safely, but Copy did get dangerously low, but overall comes out on top because Yoonbi is the only one that burned the Summer.
Yeah, and we're even seeing the pings coming in, so he's thinking that maybe Yoonbi stays. Copy's going to get the TP here. Oh, there's a solo kill! Rodolph! Okay, and there it is. All right, cool. All right, so he gets the undead kill. You know, 1 for 1.
Well, you know what? I guess knock on wood, because it happened. A solo kill between 2 tank top laners. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Honda Scouting Grounds.
Yeah, North American players and making tank, at least making some kind of tank matchup look interesting. All right, that's a first. So, you know, for themselves there. But even in that, really important there, I love the patience coming out from both mid laners. No flash being used throughout this entire thing. Yoonbi uses his cleanse just to try and at least keep on applying some more pressure in that mid gank when we saw NXI come in. And no one just blowing the flash immediately, trying to be overly aggressive. Now, it is going to try and at least save both of these mid laners, because as soon as that summoner spell goes down, junglers and especially Shady are running straight into that lane with all of their crowd control.
And it's super incredibly easy to punish a Syndra without a flash, especially when you are playing Pantheon and you have the flash advantage, because then flash point and click stun into spear and then into sleepy trouble bubble. It's just a lot of damage, and it's all on top of reliable CC, as Yawn does have to arcane shift away. Shady potentially, oh my god, Shady. That's the power of Pantheon, baby.
Look, Pantheon was strong and all, but I gotta say, Copy got a really nice redemption there. I love redemption on Zoe. It feels very good as we see even another potential top lane tank fight. We're using both ultimates to escape Riddle.
Yeah, Call the Forge God and Unstoppable Onslaught, but we have a skirmish in the jungle as well. It looks like, oh my god, flash in from Shady. It's going to force the flash out of NXI as a trade. And Team Infernal being able to use the advantage, but wait a minute, Yuumi flashes over the wall. He's going to look for the Scatter of the Weak, but he doesn't have 6. He doesn't have Unleashed Power. Where's the burst damage going to come from? It's got to come from Joey. He doesn't have Flash, though. He's going to use the Facebreaker lockdown. Someone else, but NXI will be the one to fall. They trade one back onto Shady, but with Team Infernal, they have the numbers advantage, and they're the ones on the hunt. They're the ones in pursuit. It's a double for Tomio, potentially looking for a third.
This is one of the complaints that we had about Zoe when she first came out. Every single summoner spell, she gets the flash, she immediately gets Yon's heal, and it just, I mean, completely turns that fight. Yes, they're able to trade some more kills on the opposite side, but 6-2 at 6.5 minutes here. 3,000 gold immediately exploded. I think Yumbi was maybe expecting to have a little bit more experience there, because if he has 6 there, maybe that's a completely different fight. Maybe he's able to just blow up copy on that Zoe, but ends up not happening. Over aggresses, and now we're going to yet again see Yumbi does not have flash. He will have cleanse, so he'll be able to at least dodge out on a few of those sleepy trouble bubbles, but really great fight, and honestly great timing between the two top laners. I think Rodov calling kind of Tony Top's bluff and trying to get that ultimate is really important, because otherwise the situation where he roams down, I'll hold that as, I think Rodov might be dead here.
He should die. Yep. I'm telling you, this is why I begged for, in our Clash games, to always run support Pantheon. Because I love playing Nidalee, and it's just so damn easy to make those spears land. Because
I'm sure you
I
can do
don't
that
have
on
hand.
every single champion that's a jungler. Wait a minute. Okay, really important here. They're going to dive. He should be able to get out. They messed up the blast cone here, and NXI actually got bounced back into his jungle. Now they're able to cut. Oh my.
Oh, and the curtain call is up, and the turret shots are coming in. Drowsy comes in as well, and Compy is able to land the paddle star over the wall. Just like you said it, Dimitri. Incorrect execution on the dive gets punished, and Team Inferno put themselves even further ahead.
Yeah, and Copy has been praised time and time again for just being able to roam constantly. He always has either a really good lane state, or he's there to try and punish when his laners, or maybe he can kind of sense another lane is going to get dived. Really great job from Shoryu to survive that entire time. And then on the back end, Ocean, that dive was really atrocious. We might have to get the position police out here. I don't know if they, I don't know if they come all the way out over to Switzerland, but definitely over here in the North American scouting grounds, they are on the hunt for some of these Ocean players.
I mean, if there's anything that's been consistent throughout this entire week, Dimitri, the position police have been Team Infernal. They have been the Death Squad, as Smax has coined it. Every single time they get a chance to group, we might just see it come in full force again.
There it is.
Yumi's going to get put to sleep, and lights out for him. Copy gets on a killing spree, and Tony Top waiting in the wings. Even though Rodov knew he was there, he is thankfully orange, so he's not going to die anytime soon. But NXI and Rodov were trying to make the collapse, trying to help out Yumbi, but the damage between him, Shady, and Copy is just too insane.
Yeah, and important to note there, the best part about all of this is that they're punishing these windows for their team, right? They know Yumbi does not have flash, so hey, let's just bring Pantheon into lane. Let's just bring Tomio in here and cause so much pandemonium for this Syndra. I was worrying as we got further into this game, who on the enemy team here for Infernal was going to be able to kill Ornn if this game went even. If we saw this game kind of go, I would say mild for the first couple minutes, no one on this Infernal team can do at least consistent damage against Ornn, and he would start to be this massive tank. Now we're going to see Copy here in mid lane. The important part here now is he does have the Hextech GLP, which is honestly devastating for Syndra. No mobility. She has her boots, but kind of just sitting on a poor man's lost chapter, as Copy's able to pick himself up the Merc Treads early on. Going to be missing a little bit of damage, but it's just Zoe, right? She gets the damage from all the summoner spells she steals.
I mean, you brought up a good point, Dimitri, as we'll hold on that. Rodolph burning the flash early.
Oh, they're going for this.
A little bit more damage, one more spirit. That's just enough from Team Infernal.
Speaking about our Clash game, where can't you do this, man? This is free.
All right, listen, don't talk to me now, okay? Like, we are watching beautiful Nidalee gameplay. You don't need to bring mine into this, all right? We agreed that this was not going to happen. You weren't going to bully me just because you're in Switzerland, okay?
I think it's the EU banter. It's coming out. It's in the water.
You really are getting toxic then.
Yeah.
But to go back to your point about this Rodolph pick for the Ornn, I mean, obviously we had a giant concern that if Team Infernal did not get off to the early game with a solid ground footing, then it means that Team Infernal will not be able to have enough consistent damage to be able to destroy and deal with the front line. But if they're just accelerating the game to the point where they're going to be able to get ahead, now NXI does manage to get a shutdown onto Copy. He has the flash over the wall. It looks like he'll be able to make a trade out safely, but Yumbi did fall over to the wayside of Team Infernal. And now with the curtain call, it's going to slow them down, trying to lock them for Shady. And Easy gets the flash into the W for the stun. But he needs a little bit of reinforcement. Shoryu's going to come over the wall, misses the deadly flourish. But here comes Tomio, flashes over the wall after he lands the spear. He's looking for more. He's going to prowl through the jungle. Joey, no more flash. Can Tomio get in range for another spear? I don't think it's going to land. Joey should be out safe.
just again, perfect team play kind of coming out of Team Infernal. They call for the pings. They know that, hey, NXI, super low. Hunt this man down in the jungle. We're going to find this little, we're going to go deer hunting, boys. It's good. It's hunting season. We're going to go and try and get us a little bit of lamb. Make sure that we can, exactly, cock the shotgun, get ready to find her.
But he's not playing Graves this time around.
Exactly.
So.
No Graves this time, sadly. But we saw it. Tomio, he's coming across the top side of the jungle. He's going to try and corral them in, and then the current call provides such great amount of CC. For a note again, Yon no longer has any of his summoner spells, and he's so weak right now. Look at the itemization difference in terms of damage. Jhin is already going to be able to finish that Stormrazor, and this man is sitting on Deer, Call, and Pickaxe. This is like the true beggar's man AD carry at this point. This is when you're like, guys, please give me an ounce of creep score. I just need one. I just need like 54.
Please, sir,
if you look at his
can
goal.
I have some more?
I know Infernal right now. They're looking at that coal. They're like, stop the count. We can't have this. We gotta kill him every single time. Can't allow that.
No. That's over. We're done. We're done with that week. That was terrible. Anyway, back to the game. Looking at the next few minutes. This is going to be crucial for Team Infernal because even though they have a massive lead, boasting about 7,000 gold in favor, most of it on the backs of NXI and Copy. Actually, and pretty much everyone across the board has a little bit of gold to spare as Shady might be in big trouble, but Joey doesn't have flash to follow up. Oh my god. Team Ocean thought that they're the one starting off the fight, but Tony Top comes in and he has no fear. Joey just trying to play goalkeeper, tries to get the showstopper and push him back into the river. But NXI cannot participate in the fight. He's too low, almost sub 200 HP. His Copy's going to be able to find one on the backside.
Oh,
with
look at that bubble.
Team Infernal pushing out Team Ocean of their own damn jungle.
Yeah, and that fight, yet again, you know, the camera doesn't, I don't think it shows all, but Tomio finds a fantastic spear onto NXI, and NXI, thankfully, we get to see it. NXI just completely is out of that fight for the rest of the fight. He cannot use his ultimate, he cannot put the Lilting Lullaby on the entirety of Infernal, and this should be the next dragon coming up in favor of Infernal, so they'll have that advantage for themselves. It is going to be a Mountain Drake, and it looks like I did curse it. We're going to come back from 1 minute into the game. The pause is going to come out, and oh man, it is looking
not like this.
I don't, I don't like to call games pretty early, but 8,000 gold at 13 minutes, looking kind of doomed.
All right, now. So 8,000 gold at before 15 minutes. Almost the dreaded 10,000 gold lead at 15 minutes mark.
Yeah.
Usually whenever we see that in games, it seems pretty doomed. However, put the comma after that and wait for it. Because Team Infernal, it is super imperative. We want to ensure that the audience knows that even though this lead is incredibly massive, Team Infernal always have room to screw up this lead. Because now it is on them to make sure that the engages that they pick, the picks that they go for, and their vision control is always maintained. Because if it's not, there's a moment where Team Ocean can come back thanks to Ornn, thanks to those Master Forge items to be able to put them back in a decent gold lead that stabilizes them, but then it gets to the point where this front line that they have cannot be dealt with, even with Team Infernal this so far ahead.
Mark, I hate to be that shoe on head, but all I heard from you was, Infernal, it is on them to not throw the game, which is true. I would have to agree. It is on Infernal to not throw this game. That is very true. Just don't lose. I know it's a very hard strategy for a lot of teams. Forehead. Exactly. I don't know if we were able to catch that, but Copy immediately deletes Yon from the map with a single Sleepy Trouble Bubble and a Paddle Star with a few autos spread in between, so takes him off the map, kind of just securing the fact that they're not going to be able to get the Drake. Infernal Soul is going to be our dragon of the game, and that is going to spell doom for this team as Shady goes under for a little bit of a turret dive. This turret should be going down, but it looks like the rest of Infernal, they're going to play it a little bit safe. They're going to back up and maybe go for a few resets. I just want to take a look at gold. Yeah, Copy has 2,300 gold in his pocket right now.
Tony Top giving some love to his idol top laner Nuggery with the damn one emote spam.
I mean, him look. I was gonna comment earlier. Camille, Fiora, Jax, as well as the Lulu. I'll hold that as we're gonna get another fight here.
Well, let's see. Teleports have come into play. And they are definitely making the assists happen, baby. Team Inferno once again find another pick on the Rodov, even though despite NXI was there for the reinforcements along with Joey, just wasn't enough to be able to push back this dominating aggression from Team Inferno.
And speaking about NXI, some of the question marks that I had about the Lilia here was NXI does not seem like a Lilia player, right? Most of what we've known him for is the Nidalee spears and just the immediate willingness to just jump in as soon as he gets that Cougar's mark. Same thing with Lee Sin, right? He sees the resonating wave, he presses the resonating wave. It's an instant. There is no second cast of Q. It is instantaneous. So I was wondering what kind of style we were going to see from NXI, and he's starting to get a lot of kind of targeting thanks to Infernal, and I mean, obviously Tomio's there to try to catch him, but it seems like the early game that we were expecting from Ocean to just be stable. All right, Tomio's just proving that these are not point-and-click spears, because the past couple have been a little suspect, especially at max range. But getting back to that point, the early game kind of just completely collapsed, and we were talking about needing winning lanes for NXI. Well, here we go. We're seeing Shady making sure that's not possible.
Well, Yumbi, can you come out of this one alive? I don't think so, but Joey's going to buy you some time, but he just brought the cat right onto your face! Shady will go down for his efforts as Jan picks up a massive shutdown, and Tomio might be caught out of place here. Just one more auto attack, the Haymaker, it's not enough, even with the Ignite ticking down. Tomio being able to use the Primal Surge to give him a little bit of last healing, as well as Shoryu giving a blessing from the heal himself.
Man, that was super close, and yet again, playing on the edge right there. Copy's not going to be able to find the sleep, and NXI is actually in a really dangerous position. I think that this Blast One's probably just going to save his life. They're going to try and get this Rift Herald. It is about 17 minutes. They have opened up a lot of the turrets already. We're looking 3-0. Almost every single objective in their favor. Drowsy going on, and then we see the curtain call. Might be night-night for Joey.
You said it off battery at this point. We just see things happen on the map, and it's just almost a fact that one of the members from Team Ocean will die. The amount of damage, the amount of pick opportunities and tools that Team Infernal have access to right now. They have finally eclipsed the 10,000 gold league mark, Dimitri.
Oh no! Not only that, but I thought they weren't going to pick up the Rift the Rift Herald there. NXI, yeah, he did pick it up. It's in his inventory. I saw him jump away and then have to move back. I was like, please don't be that guy. Don't be that person. As they're gonna yet again find Yumbi. He has flash, but I don't think it's gonna save him.
What? Well, Yumbi, he made you shut up, Dimitri, because he's had the damage to be able to put Shoryu in his place, and he manages to get out lickety-split.
Now, this is where I make the joke of 80 carry in 2020, because we have this running joke where if a Kali is 0-5, it just means she has a 98% instead of 99 to instantly kill you as an 80 carry. That's what just happened. Unleashed gameplay came out from the Syndra and just kind of wipes him off the map. Pretty big minion wave there too, so minions get I wish minions got a little bit of an assist. Maybe they get some free stats getting some kill assist gold. But I mean,
I will say, yeah, the minions definitely were a little bit of MVP for Yumbi. The minion block onto Shoryu as soon as he realized, he's like, I have made a great error. Oh no, he does a lot
no,
of
my
damage.
screen is gray.
Well, even though Shoryu going down, giving a little bit of shutdown gold over to Yumbi just for not even having any kills, just 10 assists and a decent amount of farm, which is something I know you are a quote-unquote big fan of. Hashtag or /s at the end of that. But Team Infernal gearing up for the third dragon of the game. And guess what, Dimitri? As fate would have it, it is an Infernal Soul game for Team Infernal, who are already 8,000 gold ahead. About to secure the third dragon off the map. True Shot Barrage, wait for it. Nope, not gonna be enough.
Man, you know, and you can even see it on Ocean that they weren't quite ready on whether they were going to contest that or not. Rodov immediately hits the back, and then he's like, wait, I don't have TP. I can't show up to this dragon in time. Never mind, I'm just going to push this wave in. Bye, guys. So they just immediately don't go for it. I kind of respect Ocean for not trying to lose their minds trying to go for this, but it does mean that they're going to have to either fight for this next one or try to find some kind of creative way, because now that the gold has at least lapsed back into maybe 7,000, 8,000, we're looking for Ocean to try and find creative ways to break open this game. They need to find either a massive NXI sleep with the Lilia or Yumbi. I mean, one of these players has to have their pop-off moment, and I think if there's any team to do it, it's one of these teams. Both of these teams have absolutely insane players that have had kind of game-defining moments that will just kind of change the terrain for the series.
I mean, 3 of these players in NXI, Rodolph, and Jan have all been in positions, whether it was their time on Anu for Rodolph, respectively, or NXI and Jan on 100 Thieves next, respectively. They've been in positions where they were down 8,000, 10,000 gold in matches, but they just buckled down, and as long as the shot calling and the veterancy from one of these players is able to calm down the rest of the team, say, hey, we can give up these objectives. It's fine if we lose
we're
these
going
deaths
for this
here, as long as they can come back, but we're going to have to see how well that comes into place, and just like that, they get the shutdown on Tomio, and Tony Top is a little way too far overextended. Shady, there's no way that he can get into the thick of the fight without Copy and Shoryu getting there first. Tony Top does manage to flash over the wall and get out safely, but look at this, South Battery. We talked about it. Team Infernal had this massive lead. Used to be 10,000, and now it's only 6K.
Yeah, remember that when we were talking about the very important win condition here for Infernal is don't throw? There we go. The position police were out in force. It wasn't Infernal. Thankfully, it was the counter agency across the pond. They came in from the ocean, and they made sure, hey, wait a minute, Tomio, you cannot be here at the Krugs. This is absolutely illegal. We cannot allow this. They checked his papers. They were actually not allowed, so ends up catching him there. And a lot of gold going over to NXI, which is definitely the player you want to see. He has the Leandries now. He's got his Runic. So that power spike that we were talking about is now online. Jan as well has finished the Mirror Mana. And now Shoryu, caught alone, calls in the Grand Starfall and the TP as well. NXI, here we go.
The global power. This is the position police. NXI thought, you know what, I can overextend my aggression a little bit. It's just Shoryu, but you forget Tony Top has teleport, and Shady's got that power slide, baby, from the Grand Starfall. And with the jungler gone from Team Ocean, Team Infernal have all the means necessary to take this Baron.
Yeah, and this should be the time now that Ocean are going to just try and break open the map, right? They can go for a mid lane. Actually, they don't even have a mid lane, or they don't have a way for mid lane, so they can't even break open that. We're all going to be able to break open the bot side tier 1. And right now, Ocean, they're just trying to fight for table scraps at the table, right? Rodolph is getting a lot of split push gold, which is nice. But if there's anybody that I don't want a lot of gold on and I just want a ton of experience on, it's Rodolph. I want him to just soak lane experience with his laners, make sure that Jan is getting all of this gold, put some more money into this man, because we're seeing it now. He's got the Triforce. There's no frozen heart, or sorry, there's no frozen fist, no frozen gauntlet. A lot of AP on the other team. Might as well just go full damage, right? It's getting scary, but we need more gold, especially for Ocean, where it's so limited, especially for jungle camps being taken away from Infernal. You need to start kind of rationing out who's going to be getting that, and it needs to be a little bit more decisive as to who we're putting it on, because putting on Rodolph is nice, but Ornn building some nice items for himself versus building a lot of nice items for his teammates is a completely different story.
I would imagine that the first item upgrade should go over towards the way of Jan, giving him that Trinity Fusion, spiking up the amount of damage, the amount of attack speed that he will be able to put out in these upcoming fights. And you said before, you know, yeah, he could have gone Iceborne Gauntlet for a little bit more utility, a little bit more slow, but they are lacking damage right now. They just need someone to be able to cut through. The amount of divers, the amount of people that are just charging through Rodolph saying, I don't care about you. I don't need to worry about you. And they just go and strike into the faces of Jan and Yumbi and NXI. And Jan, at this point, he is buckling down. He is getting ready. And this is where moments are made of, where these players can show, even despite in the face of adversity, that they can overcome the greatest difficulties.
Yeah, if there was ever a time for one of these players to just kind of have their standout moment, kind of break the game, it would be here. And honestly, it can happen for both of them. Lilting Lullaby comes out, and here we go, Mark.
Sleep goes down onto Shoryu. He's going to get out of the fight for quite a bit of time. Joey trying to soak up as much damage as he can. Blows out the Haymaker, soaks up a little bit more, but he finally does fall to the curtain call from Shoryu, and now the battle is truly on. Shoryu and the battle lines have been established so that no one can touch him, and just like that, Yumbi is going to get taken out of the fight. He will survive for the moment, but no longer he can participate. Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like that Jan is chasing Shade. He's actually getting run down by the support Pantheon, despite being 2 levels down, and Jan... Well, actually, why did he comes out on top against Shady? I thought that Shady was going to be able to win that, but Jan proves me wrong. But despite that, Dimitri, the Infernal Soul is live, and no one from Team Ocean can get in, and Soul will be secured by Team Infernal.
Yeah, they'll be able to cannibalize the top side of this jungle, but Ah, and there we go. And there's the pause. I mean,
Ah!
Jan was in a really dangerous position. He went all the way behind the mid lane turret, the tier 2 mid lane turret, and then he actually E'd forward back over the wall, not expecting Shady to be there, obviously. And then we saw the trade kill come out. In that entire fight, I actually wanted to bring it up. Copy has picked up the Magi's Ego Stealer. Right?
Oh.
He's got himself the book, and I was wondering how many stacks we were going to get, because that team fight, if it goes the wrong way and suddenly he's picking up 2, 3, 4 kills, all of a sudden we have a Magi's that is fully stacked and will just kind of obliterate a team fight, put them, I mean, surely in the lead at that point. But the team fight was a little bit scattered. The Littling Lullaby only lands on Shoryu, which is really great, but then no one's able to follow up on it. It was a little bit reminiscent of one of our first seeds going to Worlds, but it didn't seem like everybody was quite in the position.
Damn.
I mean, Joey had to bring them into mid lane.
Damn.
Even Yunbi was getting cut off from the bot side of the jungle, thanks to Copy and the rest of the squad with Tony top. I mean, both of the top laners are kind of being their front runners. They're like, okay, we're the pillow forts. We're going to move the kind of the battle lines. The rest of the backline has to be there to kind of, to make sure to amplify that damage. It just wasn't there for Infernal because of how far behind they are. It's 7,000 gold, but it's going to feel a lot more, especially now Infernal Soul is here for them.
I mean, you said it. Team Ocean, it's not like they don't have the tools to start off fights. They've got Call of the Forge God. They've got the Lilting Lullaby. They got Scatter the Weak, and they have the Showstopper. And as long as Joey has Flash, he can always get in the heat of the battle, go for a face breaker to really start things off for the rest of the team to follow up. But it all comes down to execution, and there's just a way that Team Infernal is poising themselves and positioning themselves in these very large and scattered battlegrounds. It's just hard to lock them down. Now, Shoryu doesn't have Flash anymore, so that could be something that Team Ocean look to capitalize and punish in this next upcoming skirmish.
You know, Mark, I didn't want to be that guy that makes the itemization lol joke, but I'm really impressed by Tony Top yet again. He's got the Leandries at this point, or sorry, the
Locket
of the Iron Solari. Just beautiful against Ocean. It does so much. All this magic damage, especially the shielding coming out against the burst, he's going to do wonders, and I'm looking forward to see how this team fight is. Now, typically Tony Top is actually nowhere near his team, so I don't know how much effectiveness you actually get out of the Locket, but it is always fun to see as another turret is going to go in favor of Infernal, and we're probably going to continue to see this dance for a little bit as there is decent wave clear from the side of Ocean. They don't need to kind of start a fight. It's kind of on Infernal to make sure that, hey, you're going to walk into us and we have a lot of this fog. As we see, they're just playing around the fact that they have Copy and Tomio who can just throw massive skill shots that can, I mean, we've been seeing here, Joey, half HP. He has no magic resist either, which is he has a Merc and that's it. And there's the start of a fight called the Forge God.
I mean, they know that Shoryu doesn't have Flash, but apart from a True Shot Barrage, there's not real any other follow-up there. And Rodolph tries to go for the knockup, gets stuck in the wall, has the Flash, but here comes Tony Top from the flank. This man's been doing it all week here at the Honda Scouting Grounds, and he always manages to find a place to put himself behind the enemy team for that flank.
Watch on.
And Team Infernal now on the backside, health bars are getting critically low. Copy running out of mana, but he's still going for it, and he's still putting in the damage and the work. Sure, he's able to pick up another one onto Yumbi, but it's still 3 members up for Team Ocean, so Team Infernal, despite having a victorious fight, still don't manage to get any objectives off.
Yeah, they got gold. Cool. You got a bunch of gold. You made sure to kill the enemy opponent. Very cool. But you didn't get anything for it, right? There's no objectives on the map. You weren't able to break open the turret. Really great defense coming out from Ocean. Again, NXI uses the Lilting Lullaby, and it's only on Shoryu. There's a little bit of dissynergy there that we got to solve, right? The Lilting Lullaby comes out, Rodolph uses ultimate, and the first passive call of the Forge God immediately procs sleep. And now you have a Shoryu who is just going to sit in the back line, be very protected by his front line that's willing to step up. We even see Shady, he exits the fights and comes right back in with the Grand Starfall, and it really doesn't mean anything because now we're sitting here 21-8, 28 minutes into the game, 7,000 gold lead, and complete control over Baron for Infernal, where now Ocean has to kind of tiptoe their way around the map, making sure that they're not only seen on vision, they can at least put themselves in a strong position to try and fight back on this objective.
Fight coming on top, as you said before, Team Ocean are still holding on. They're still maintaining the structures of their outer base. No inhibitor turrets have fallen to Team Infernal. Now it's up to them to see if they can find a victorious pick here. Something that can lead into another objective take, either into that Baron or either into an inhibitor turret, and finally unlocking the base. But for Team Ocean, Mastery Forge items are coming in. Trinity Fusion already completed by Yon. The next one, I assume that if they can get it in time, Yumbi should be able to pick up a Death Crown once he has enough gold in his pocket.
Yeah, I was going to say he could go for a Death Crown. I think it's really greedy. I know it's super effective. You get so much bonus HP from it, but I think it might just be worth it for Yunbi to just get the earlier spike. Get the Luden's Pulse. If they're expecting this game to go longer than the next 5 minutes, then sure. It's going to be incredibly dangerous. They don't have a lot of frontline tanks. Oh, the True Shot Barrage tests my patience. Make sure that it keeps the game somehow. You know, this is like, oh, cool, look, we've gave away Baron, and now we get to wait an extra 5 minutes. That Death Crown's coming in. It's the free FedEx shipped right to his house instantly. But
I saw you tense up. I saw you tense up on screen a little bit.
It's a little too much. And now we're seeing Rodov. I mean, he picks himself up the Knight's Vow. Actually, okay, so he puts it on Yon. So he's attached to Yon at this point. Joey has still not finished an item. We are waiting for the garage sale. He's trying to get 1100 so he can get Dead Man's Plate. It's going to probably be a little bit. We're going to see potentially another fight as Rodov and NXI are here with Tony.
And Tony Top already starting off the fight with the Unstoppable Onslaught. Joey gonna push him back into the team with a Showstopper, gets a nice face breaker down. Tony Top taking a lot of damage, and Rodov now, maybe he can get into the front line, and he still is surviving. And Tony Top doesn't manage to really get a lot done for his team. He tanked up a lot, but the damage follow-up was not enough from Team Infernal, and now it's a 5-on-4 advantage. Notice that it looks like there is a recall coming in from Joey, but this is support set. Doesn't have teleport. I was hoping that maybe there's a potential for
Tomio
to capitalize, but Tomio doesn't have the flash of the wall. Gets a little too greedy.
Yeah, and right there, all of the poke from Infernal goes missing. Copy doesn't land a single paddle star. We see Tomio doesn't land any of the kind of relevant Nidalee spears that we were expecting, and that's where we could see Ocean start to thrive, start to find a little bit of purchase back into the game. But kind of Tony Top goes way too far, and I'm usually not a huge fan of fighting on Baron. You want to make sure that you're trying to utilize this Baron as soon as possible, as now we're even seeing Joey gets caught out, 600 gold going away. And
this is a bad time to get caught out if you're Team Ocean, because Elder Dragon just spawned on the map, Dimitri. I don't know how Team Ocean can try and contest this Elder buff. It's totally
they have a TP. Wait, they have a ward behind them. They can go for a TP if they want, but oh my god, even NXI's on the top side of the map.
True Shot Barrage?
Too close to call. Man. I mean, thankfully for Infernal, none of those are landing, as they're going to try and fight with this Drake. They're going right under the turret.
Yeah, they're just going to brute force their way in with the Elder Dragon buff on their side. Once they're below 25% HP, it's going to be lights out for each of the Team Ocean members. But look at Copy. He's in a battle with NXI, and he's going to lose. The E kills him, but Deadly Flourish comes over the wall, and bam, there's the Elder Dragon. Looking at Tomio, is able to dissuade all the damage with that Zonia's Hourglass, and will get punished by Yon and Joey. Now a 3-on-3 here between Team Infernal and Team Ocean. 3 Elder Dragon buffs still on those members. Shady doesn't have Grand Starfall, looking for the recall as Team Infernal. We're looking to push for more into the middle inhibitor, but Team Ocean will hold strong as True Shot Rush comes in. Yon, Hurricane shifts over the wall. This is the moment where heroes are defined, and Ocean are looking to punish Team Infernal for the over-aggression. Tony Top trying to take him down. He still has the Elder Dragon buff, even despite this mode, but it's not going to be enough. He will get slowed down, and Team Ocean holds strong.
Man, and that's one of those moments when you're sitting there as AD carry as Ezreal, you arcane shift forward, you're like, oh no, I think I've died. I think I died for the kill, boys. Sorry, guys. But a great base defense immediately coming out from the side of Ocean. Caught between two daisies is what I'm going to kind of name that one for Infernal. They were going a little bit too far. They weren't able to land any relevant damage on some of the members. They have an Elder Drake, for crying out loud. They even have Baron, and they cannot get the timing down to get damage onto some of the squishy members. All of it lands onto Rodov, and Rodov on this Ornn is just saying, all right, cool, I'll just shrug this off. See you guys later. I'm going to go back base. And you come back with like 4,000 HP. All right, I'm ready to fight, boys. Let's go. It just wasn't super relevant, and now, I mean, we're going to probably see yet again another Baron dance. We have a 2 minutes. The team fights have not been all there, and we're starting to see some of this game start to creep out. 10,000 gold in favor of Infernal, so it is getting to that point in the game.
And we have to go back to the point that we were illustrating earlier. 17 minutes ago,
find
actually,
this.
you know what? They're going to go for the fight. Call of the Forge God lands onto 2, despite Shady trying to block it with that E. He's going to take a lot of damage up from Team Ocean. Curtain Call's trying to do its best. And Tony Top has come in once again with the flank. Unstoppable Onslaught. But he needs his team to be there for the damage follow-up. He's taking as much as he can. But all of Team Ocean are corralling around Tony Top. And Tony Top is saying, please, team, help me out. I'm doing the best that I can. And it's not enough as Team Ocean are able to wipe one away from Team Infernal. Health bars are dangerous here for Team Ocean. Some of the frontliners, as well as the carry in Yumbi, have to be playing with caution here, but Team Infernal still cannot manage to shut down Team Ocean.
Yeah, and kind of like we were talking about, the Majai's Ego Stealer is coming online. The true effect of this book is coming in, because now, I mean, Infernal are playing really aggressively, and they're being punished. No one's able to kind of sit up in that front line if Shady's being taken down incredibly low at the beginning of the fights. If Copy is being disabled before the fight can begin, suddenly Ocean look like they have a much better fight. We saw right in that fight, right? Joey is just frontlining, making sure that he's tanking all that he can. He has his stone plate available to him. They're gonna be able to
wait a minute, Jon! Shady was there waiting, but it's still not enough damage thanks to that death stance, giving him a little bit of that durability to survive an assassination attempt by Shady and Copy.
And they need to recall right now, especially if you're Shady. He has the Grand Starfall. He can immediately come back into the base. Copy's just going to kind of come into the top lane, make sure that you can clear out some of these wards. Most of these members have now gone for their resets. We see, oh no, he got the death cap, but he didn't put it in the right,
You hate to see it if you're Yunbi and Team Ocean.
Look, it was fine to get the Luden's Pulse earlier, but he bought it in the hopes that he's going to get it. And now we start this fight. Here we go, Tony Top.
We're going to have to see if a little less AP is going to cost Team Ocean here. This fight could be the one for all the marbles. The Team Infernal come out on top. And with them already taking down Joey, it's a 5-on-4. But Tony Top and Shady taking a lot of damage right now. Rodolph still at half HP. He can still frontline for quite a century, and they trade the top laner for Team Infernal. Now 4-on-4, but Yubi falls to Shoryu. The deadly flourish that catches him on the backside. It's now Jan and Rodolph on the run. NXI potentially looking for a flank, but he's nowhere in position to be able to capitalize. Rodolph flashes away, but it's not enough as Shoryu gets the bullet. It wasn't even the fourth one, but it's still enough to take him down. Jan and NXI, the last members against 4 to make this defense possible if they look for it.
Yeah, and the Baron is coming up. NXI has his flash available, and if there's anything we've learned from this Honda Scouting Ground so far is the fact that these junglers make some crazy Baron steals. It looks like they're going to start make their way over here. They don't have the fastest Baron. Zoe's going to try and supplement this as best as she can, but she's starting to run out of mana. NXI is here. Ezreal's going to be here to try and back this up. No flash available. They're going to have to go for it. Shady.
Shady's going to try to buy as much time as he can. Smite comes in for Tomio, and Team Infernal do secure the Baron buff. Elder Dragon is up in the next 30 seconds here, Dimitri. And with death timers this long, for anyone that goes down, it could mean game over here for Team Ocean.
Exactly, and take a look at the itemization. I was looking to see when Shoryu is going to be able to pick up a lot of armor penetration, and he's finally finished his Lord Dominic. So we'll be able to at least penetrate some of the defenses of Rodolph, but Rodolph is being so tanky, and specifically that Joey sitting on the set when he uses the ultimate is making such a large difference. He's doing so much extra damage when he picks up the Scion and brings it into the rest of the backline of Infernal that I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Tony Top not quite being a solid tank kind of front line. They're going to turn away from this Elder and try to find this onto Jan.
Shady forces the flash out. Joey's going to be able to answer response with the Showstopper and the beautiful whole face breaker, and it's a 3-man knockup from Rodolph, but where's the damage? Where are the rest of the carries? But Jan actually finds Tomio on the backside with a true shot barrage. Rodolph is still managing being alive despite being a quarter HP. Tony Top also a quarter HP as well. The unleashed power is not going to be enough, but Jan finds the snipe with the mystic shot. It's a bunch of damage coming out between both carries, but look at the damage from Shoryu! It's a shutdown, and now they have the damage. They have the numbers to run him down. NXI still up. He can always pretend and make sure to ensure that he can be there to stop the Elder Dragon from being taken, but Team Infernal might just go for the game.
Yeah, they've got Rodov, they've got NXI, and now the TPs are gonna come in. Copy yet again. Oh, he sells the book so he can pick up a void stuff. Okay, I respect that. He gets rid of it. He's just gonna make sure he's gonna kind of be available for this. It is gonna just be kind of defense. It is the Spartans versus the Persians right now. Rodov and NXI have to make the impossible happen here. Try to wave clear this as much as possible, but Copy does so much damage to these structures. That's one auto attack he's going for. They're going to try and find this fight.
Yeah, Rodov is a tank, but he does not have enough damage in CC to be able to stall them for long, and just like that, a long, hard-fought battle, almost 40 minutes. Can you believe it was game 1 of this series here, Dimitri? Because, my God, we've got a banger on our hands.
Yeah, and if you were just to take a look at the stats for this series, I mean, it's 30-17. It is almost 12K in favor of Infernal and is 8-2 in turrets, but the mid game coming in pretty massively. And I think a lot of this, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Ocean for playing really well in the mid game, getting kind of scaling themselves later into the game. But Copy on the Zoe, this is supposed to be his bread and butter, and the skill shots were not landing whatsoever in all of these fights. The Zoe was a little bit less effective than I would have liked it, and I'm sure that he's kind of kicking himself a lot in these team fights. To be fair, the positioning is really difficult. He not only has to try and dodge Rodov, but he also has to make sure that he's not just immediately in the line of fire for Yunbi. So I maybe this Zoe pick ended up kind of stalling the game out a little bit longer than they would have expected. Infernal take a pretty dominating win if we just kind of clear out the middle section of this game. For the most part, there are some fights that are really, really suspect. Well, a couple Mia pings on that one, but
yeah. Well, let's give credit where credit is due. Team Infernal picked a very hyper snowball-y composition that needed to accelerate in the early game, and they did. They did accelerate. The problem came in was, and this is where the credit is also due to Team Ocean, they did a pretty damn good job of stalling out the game, being able to prevent towers and inhibitors from falling earlier on before the 30-minute mark. And because of that, Rodolph was able to scale up on the Ornn, get to the level 15, 16 mark, being able to give Mastery Forge items and allow the rest of his carries to scale up in their own right. And despite having a 10,000 gold lead at some point, those Mastery Forge items kick in and it completely erases that gold lead. But we have more to talk about. I know, Dimitri, we could talk about this game all day long, but we got to get ready for game 2, as pretty sure everyone needs a break after that massive game 1. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.